June the 7th, 2018. Looking at the USGS earthquake map from today, notice 94 of 121 earthquakes are near or almost near the summit of Kilauea. Also, there's a blue diamond. That is showing a 5.4, and that's coming from a volcanic eruption. That's just to the west of the main caldera right there. Now, guys, remember a couple of days ago, the walls of the caldera collapsed of that big crater lake and started damming it up. Well, we're seeing these explosions now. We're seeing massive fissures explode, and suddenly it wasn't a river. It was a tsunami of lava, covered a couple of highways and rushed to the bay, destroying hundreds of homes. We'll take a look at that. But again, you've got quakes that are along this rift zone. That's one of the areas that moved almost 20 inches when all of this started, when we had the 6.9 earthquake, I think it was. You got one offshore there also, and one up north on the tallest mountain there. But guys, solar wind speed is important. It's starting to come back down some. Remember, we've had it a peak at close to 800 in the last 3 or 4 days. Now, it's 378 kilometers per second. That is still fast, almost 1,000,000 miles an hour. But in the purple line, you have the solar wind speed. Go back to June the 2nd, and actually to June the 1st, and it started peaking. Now, today on June the 7th, guys, going into the 8th universal time, we see it coming back to normal. But these spikes are 2 to 3 times higher than normal. We are reaching 1.8 million miles an hour. Now, again, we're down to about 900,000 miles an hour. And you can look at your dates. Check this out. So we had basically coming in from the 1st, just coming down out of on the 7th, about 7 days of elevated wind speed, but you had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of really accelerated wind speed, solar wind speed, guys, and the energy is collected by the shields and transferred into the core of our planet. It happens during solar minimum, and we talk about that a lot. But here it's 792 kilometers per second back on July 3rd. Remember, as long as it takes it to heat up, it takes it to cool down. But at 800 kilometers a second, you're at 1.79 million miles per hour. Very fast, very intense. It's almost unimaginable. Now we're back down to 378 as far as the kilometers per second. That's 845,000 plus miles an hour. Today, looking at the sun from the Solar Dynamics Observatory, there are no significant equatorial coronal holes on the Earth's side of the sun. Guys, that's the open places in the sun that lets out these massive solar streams. Let's look behind the sun at stereo A. No coronal holes showing. This is the sunspot we watch come around on the Earth-facing side. Now, there's some lighter areas involved, but as long as they don't open, we're going to get a reprieve from the double and triple solar winds, or the double and triple speed of the solar winds. Again, this is the backside. It's turning to the right. Let's go back to the front side from a different image of the Solar Dynamics Observatory. At the top, you see a coronal hole at the bottom, and there may be, you can see some weaker areas here and along this line. As long as that area there does not open up, it's going to give us a reprieve from the intense winds. That should help on some of the more intense lava flows. Remember, fuego, which means fire down in Guatemala, guys. Over 100 now are dead. Some of the research and rescue folks have had to be called off. But this, again, earth-facing side, everything's moving from left to right. Guys, these are unbelievable images. This is where lava has completely covered. Vacation land is pouring to the ocean, into that bay there. It got another area. But this lava, look at how the dark areas just behind the smoke. That's where it came down from the mountain, and from actually the fissure started about 25 miles below the summit. Going to satellite images, this is before it hit the bay. The bay is the dark area to the right. Look at the lava movement. And this is not just low ground lava. Look at the height coming up behind the houses. But it went past this point, this beautiful bay in front of it. Now it has filled way out into the ocean. Dead fish, dead turtles, all types of dead marine life are floating up now because in the air alone it creates hydrochloric acid when this ash hits salt water. So down below you've got fish that are exposed to extreme temperatures and different chemical elements. Now the red area is where the lava has not hit yet, and you see the ocean to the right. The black area is where the lava. This is from Digital Globe. This is the image as far as a real-time photograph. You can see the areas. Now it is changed. It has burned through all of the different, the two different beach resorts. The homes that were spared were on hills that were higher than the lava field. Now there is no bay as it was. Now it is a more of an outlet or a peninsula going out. How many years will it be before you can inhabit the land? It was like this in the beginning. It took hundreds of years, in some cases thousands in others, to develop these forests on top of this layer of lava rock. Look at the amount that's pouring in. The heat of the lava is so hot that it's running almost like water. You've seen some lower or slower magma movements. Look at this, guys. Look at the speed pouring out of this. Some of these fountains have been welled up above 500 feet. And some even higher than that if you look at all the images. But again, it burned through. Now it's pushing out into the bay. It is forming new land. People are losing cropland. They're losing homes. And a good bit of the crops on this island were affected. Some estimates are up to 50% by the lava. Now, there's so much going on that we don't know what's going on at the geothermal plant. Now, this will give you an excellent idea of how wide this lava flow is. Look behind the steam. Look at the size of the homes. And these homes were not in the direct path. Some may be slightly higher in elevation, but they're not safe yet. The lava's still coming. Now, all the way into the ocean, not a new bay, but a new, more or less, not a full peninsula, just a great extension of the land. But look at how hot it is and how fast it's flowing. This is core temperature heat, and the core is heating up because of our weakened shields. It's all across the island. You're looking at USGS copters flying through there. Look at how it's going into the forest and burning the trees down as the lava starts to spread and flow into that. It's almost